My leg just doesn't work. Literally magic oil. I've actually got to do this. Hey guys, welcome back to part 5 of my fight diaries. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, then I'm currently training for my first Muay Thai fight here in Thailand. I'm currently 8 weeks into a 12-week fight camp, but this is part 5 because I was way too scared to start filming these videos right at the start, but now I'm a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more familiar with my training. I post these videos every single week just to give you guys an overview and an insight to my training, what it's like training here in Thailand, and how I'm feeling in the lead up to my first Muay Thai fight here in Thailand. So if you watched my last video, I did mention the potential of having my fight a little bit sooner, which would be in about 2 weeks. So very quick update on that. It's not happening. I sat down with Jake, who is also my coach, and we basically just thought it's not the best idea. Obviously I would love to do it because a festival fight would be such sick vibes, but the way my 12-week fight camp works is at the end of the 12 weeks, I'm going to be peak and I'm going to be at my best at that 12-week mark. So if I was to fight early and was to fight at the 10 week, at the 11-week mark, even earlier, then I'm not going to be at my best, and I want to go into the fight knowing that I've put 100% effort into my training and that I am going to be able to perform my absolute best going into the ring. So we decided against it. We decided I'm not going to do it. We're going to stick to the original date. Not that I have an original date because it is still kind of up in the air. We just have a rough idea of when it's going to be. And for those that don't know, it's going to be hopefully around the end of next month, so the end of October. I think like the 26th is a Saturday, so I'm hoping for around that date, but it just depends if they can get me an opponent for that date. It might be a week earlier, it might be a week later, but somewhere around that date. And you never know, coming into peak season in Thailand, like tourist season, there is going to be festivals like pretty much every single week, especially up here in Pai. So who knows, we'll see how my first fight goes, and then potentially there might be an opportunity to do another one at a festival later down the line, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself because we have to see how the first fight goes. Who knows? But yeah, very quick update on my training from last week. So nothing has really changed from the week before, except for I did go into a deload week. So all of my cardio and all of my skill work, that all stayed the exact same. It's just my, the strength sessions, the power sessions, things like that. The load was a lot less, so I was doing a lot less 1 rep max percentages, so a lot lighter weight, and just letting my body rest and recover through that, but still pushing myself in my sparring, in my training and pads and everything like that. So I managed to do all of my sessions last week, so I'm happy about that. I know the week before I did miss out on a couple of the sessions, so I'm really happy to have had a full week of training with no interruptions. Although I did get injured when on my Friday Muay Thai session. There's a new trainer that's come to the gym, and Friday in afternoons they do clinching, and I basically clinched the new trainer, and he is an absolute machine. Within the first I think 5 seconds he had already thrown me on the floor twice. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a huge bruise on my knee. That's not actually where it hurts, but the way he threw me, I might actually put a clip in here, you might be able to see it, where he threw me and I landed funny on my knee, and it's actually all right today, but ever since Friday it's just been anytime I put any weight on it, it's been really hurting. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to spar on Saturday, but I put a knee brace on. Paul, one of the uncles here at the gym, he put some I have no idea what it was, but it's literally magic oil. He rubbed all that into my knee and the pain literally went away. I have no idea what was in the oil. It's this homemade remedy thing. And yeah, he rubbed it into my knee, I put the knee brace on, and I felt no pain, and it feels since then it's got a lot better. So touch wood, nothing serious, and it will just heal up over the next few days. And then yeah, carried on with my sparring session, and it was actually a really good session, to be honest. I'll show you guys how my week went. As always, I've put together some clips from my training just to give you an insight of how it went, so I'll pop that in now. It is Tuesday morning. I'm just about to do my first strength session of the week. I literally cannot be bothered today. It is awful weather. I don't know if you can see, but it's just raining, and all I want to do is just sit in bed today. But yeah, really tired, not in the mood, but we're getting it done anyway. I've made a terrible mistake. So I worked out earlier and I literally could not be bothered to go and do my threshold runs. It was absolutely pouring with rain and I just could not be bothered to go and do them. So I said, oh, I'll do them later. And now it's later and I've got to go and do them. So note to self, do it all in one go because it is a lot easier than putting it off till later in the day. I've actually come to the gym here in Pai to get them done. because I'm not really sure on the weather. It has stopped raining, but the roads are pretty manic and there's not really any like safe roads to run in Pi. So just about to go in there now and do 30 minutes of threshold runs. Hey, Chows! Just getting ready to do my second power session of the week. I keep calling it a strength session, but it's not strength, it's power and explosive movement. So just getting ready to do my second power session of the week. I literally cannot be bothered this week. I don't know if it's because it's like a deload week or what, but I just can't bother to work out today. All I want to do is hit pads, spar, work on technique, but got to do this side of things because it is super important, but I just can't be bothered this week at all. Feeling lazy. It's also the weather as well. We've got huge floods in town, but yeah, also the weather is a bit sleepy, so
Big. Push. Double. Distance. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Check. Fire. 1, 2. Check. Yeah. Check. You okay? Check. 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 You okay? Alright, jab. Jab cross. Jab cross hook. Jab cross hook punch. Jab cross hook punch up front. Alright, check. Right up top. Away, lovely. Yep. Alright.
So it is Friday morning and I've just set up my circuit for my muscular conditioning session. Although I've just picked up these and a spider just touched me on the hand and it ran onto this kettlebell and now it's here. And that was on my hand and now I want to throw up and not work out because that is absolutely disgusting. I don't know if it's a huntsman, I don't know, but whatever it is, don't like it. Normally that muscular conditioning session is normally really easy and I fly through it without even getting out of breath, but today, bloody hell, that was hard. That was like harder than my workout from yesterday. But yeah, Muay Thai later and then one more session and we'll be done for the week.
Bye bye. See you.
So yeah, that was my week last week. The only thing missing from those clips is Wednesday. I just completely forgot to film anything on Wednesday. It was a sparring session. Jake is the one who normally films me. He like follows me around the gym and like films everything I do, bless him. But Wednesday he was sparring as well, and it just like time just got away and we just completely forgot to even film anything. So I did also train on Wednesday as well. There was a sparring session on Wednesday. And yeah, I just completely didn't get any footage, so sorry about that. There was an extra session in there. To be honest, I'm kind of glad we didn't film anything on Wednesday because, again, got another injury on Wednesday. It wasn't really an injury, it was more like a bit of a shock, to be honest. So I was sparring, and I know that I'm quite bad with my left check anyway. Let's just really hope that my opponent, my future opponent, isn't watching this because she's going to know all of my weaknesses. But I'm quite like heavy on my back foot. I'm southpaw, so I'm quite heavy on my back left foot. And because of that, I have like real struggle blocking. I think it's more of a mental thing as well. Like my coach will be like, block, and I just won't block. Like my leg just doesn't work. I know that it's coming, and even in sparring, I can see the kicks coming, and I know that I need to block, but my leg, it just doesn't move, and it's so frustrating. And then obviously I was sparring, and there's another girl at the gym that trains, and she's also a fighter. I think she's had like 2 or 3 fights now at the gym. So I've been sparring her quite a bit, and she kept low kicking me, and I knew in my head that I needed to block because it was getting worse and worse and worse. I knew in my head that I needed to block, but I feel like after I haven't blocked one kick, in my head I'm like, oh, for God's sake, like, and then it gets in my head because I haven't checked that one time, it gets in my head and I'm like, can't block, that is it, I'm never gonna be able to block again. And then I just take like loads and loads and loads of leg kicks, and then right towards the end of the sparring, she did one massive leg kick. I saw it coming, landed it, and my whole leg just went completely numb. And then obviously it got in my head a bit because I'm like, if that happens in a fight, in sparring, that's one thing, and she's not even going full power. All it would take in a fight is for her to go full power, straight to the leg, not a block, and then it's gonna get in my head. So how am I supposed to do that for 5 rounds, especially if that happens in like round 1? How am I supposed to keep going for 5 rounds when I've got a dead leg and I've got like bruises on my leg and I can't feel my leg and it hurts to walk on? Like, how am I supposed to keep going in a fight? But I just kind of got a little bit, I don't know what the word is, not scared, obviously a little bit scared, but like I just got a bit taken back, I guess, and I was a bit like, oh fuck, I've actually got to do this. But yeah, and then the next day after that, so after sparring on the Thursday, me and Jake did some like defense work at home where we just focused on like blocking, and then what's the word for that?
Check, counter.
Counter, that's the word.
Check,
Counter. That's what we were working on. Yeah, so on Thursday we did a little bit of pad work at home, and I just was focusing on trying to check with my back leg. Obviously I checked some of them, but I would say I probably checked like 15% of the kicks. And then one of the kicks that he did, it didn't even look that bad when I watched it back, but one of the kicks just made my whole leg hurt, and I was like, the thing is as well, I've got to try and remember in those moments, like when my leg is hurting like that, not to just go, oh no, stop, like, because that is going to happen in a fight. I have to carry on, I have to learn to like get used to being uncomfortable, being in pain, but still like having a strong guard and still moving forward with it. Not like the moment I get hurt, I can't just be like, oh fuck, and then stop, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of getting used to like being uncomfortable, being like in pain, but not letting it stop me. So I think I did quite well on the Thursday. I don't know if you might want to go back and have a look at the clip, but you can probably see it from the clip. But yeah, anyway, so that's that. That was my week last week. Last week was the last week of my power explosive training. Going into the next phase of my training is the next and the last 4-week block, which I'm absolutely terrified about. But this is going to be focusing on speed. So put in body car. But this phase is going to be focusing on speed, so basically translating everything that I've done in phase 1 and phase 2, and it should all come together in phase 3, which, like I said, is speed. A little bit nervous about that actually, not because of it's like close to the fight or anything, but because it's going to be a lot more like body weight stuff, a lot more like plyometric work and things like that. And if you know me, if you've been following me, if you've been following my fitness journey, since day 1, I have been like a hypertrophy girl, lifting weights, like super strict, like won't go a week without lifting weights. And even the last 2 months of my fight camp phase, I've noticed a huge difference like in my physique from not being so strict with like hypertrophy, not doing like 3 to 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps, like that kind of thing. Obviously I still like feel really good, and I don't necessarily like hate the way I look, but it is just a lot. Like I just don't feel like I have that fullness as what I had when I was lifting weights, obviously. But now I'm going to be like kind of completely stepping away from the weights, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to be more like body weight and things like that. So I'm a little bit nervous that I'm going to feel like a little bit flat and a little bit deflated, but it's really hard to steer away from aesthetic goals. Like I'm not trying to look absolutely jacked and massive and muscly. I'm going for performance and I'm going for speed here, so I have to not focus on that too much, because it definitely does get in my head sometimes. But so yeah, going into the next phase as of tomorrow, my skill work, Muay Thai, all of that is still going to stay the same. So I'm still going to be going to Muay Thai, I think 4 times a week, but I'm also going to be adding 2 extra pad sessions in at home with Jake. And like I said, it's just going to be more like plyometric bodyweight stuff on top of that. Also going to be introducing sprints. I did do them the week before last when I was in Chiang Mai, and they were absolutely awful, but I'm going to be adding them in every single week as of now, because they are actually really, really good. Like I don't know if this was in my head, but I found like the couple of sessions after I did the sprints, I felt so good on the pads. I don't know if that's in my head, because surely one session is like way too soon to make a difference. And yeah, I'll give you guys a full rundown next week, because I'm not exactly sure how the layout of the week is going to be, but I'll let you guys know, keep you guys updated, and yeah, see how it goes, see how it feels. So thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow me all the way through to my journey, to my first Muay Thai fight here in Thailand.